Who is Dr. Roland Rasmussen? That's a question that we're currently working on. But there's some very strange connections that this man has to a lot of very different people. The only video I was able to find of him on YouTube and online is an interview with him and Donald Waite, D.A. Waite. And Donald Waite is a man that upholds the Textus Receptus over the King James Bible, and in fact says that the King James Bible has errors, and of course he's smart enough to correct them. You know, even though he'll say he defends the King James Bible. So Donald Waite's got some issues. Roland Rasmussen also knew Johnny Todd. If you know the story about Johnny Todd, born into the Illuminati, and the Jack Chick comic books, there's many of them about Johnny Todd, and Roland Rasmussen was Johnny Todd's pastor. Sent him out to go out and speak about the Illuminati and his connections and stuff and his personal testimony. And then after a few years, he said that Johnny Todd was starting to have problems, so he pulls Johnny Todd's membership from his Babel building, Rasmussen's Babel building, and basically destroys Johnny Todd. Interesting. Roland Rasmussen also knows Fritz Springmeier. And many people believe that Fritz Springmeier is a disinfo agent. And his one book about the mind control thing, the whole mind control deal, he basically says, I'm not actually going to tell you how to deprogram somebody, but rather how to program someone with this formula. Very questionable things about Fritz Springmeier. So another tie-in, Roland Rasmussen and Springmeier are friends. How about Paul Wittenberger? Right here on this Facebook page, you can see at the very top, Paul Wittenberger, Faith Baptist Church. Right there. You say, what does that have to do with that movie? Well, Roland Rasmussen does the voiceover for it. And yet, for some reason, they don't have him in the movie. Now explain that one to me. Here's a guy that came out with this post-trib, pre-wrath rapture. Right there is Rasmussen's book. You would think that they would want to interview him for the After the Tribulation movie. And yet they don't. But they have him in as a voiceover. Oh, and by the way, his connections to Steven Anderson. Steven Anderson's grandfather went to Rasmussen's Babel building. Rasmussen supposedly led Anderson's parents to the Lord, and they later got divorced. And Anderson knows Rasmussen. How about that? And now the most recent, Ken Hovind, was a believer in the pre-time of Jacob's trouble catching away, but he spoke at Rasmussen's Babel building years ago, and Rasmussen gave him a copy of this book. And this book is what messed up Ken Hovind. And I can tell you, reading through this book, the logical absurdities are incredible. Rasmussen the Holy Spirit did not lead him to write that book. He claims he did, but he's got some major problems. So, you know, if I was conspiratorial, and of course I'd never think of being such a thing like that, but I would kind of look at Rasmussen as possibly being a mind control programmer. Yoked up with Donald Waite, Fritz Springmeier, Steven Anderson, Paul Wittenberger, Ken Hovind, and Johnny Todd. And that's just what we've found so far. So if you have any information about this Rasmussen guy, put it down there in the comment sections or send it to me in a private message or whatever, because we're trying to find out some stuff about this man. I think we got a very dangerous wolf in sheep's clothing here. And he's been around for a long time. And oh, and by the way, in his interview with Donald Waite, just to mention another tie-in, he recommended Jack Hyles and Dr. Bob Gray, as well as some other people, Truman Dollar, who worked for the New King James Version Translation Committee, and Heimers. I forget the guy's first name, but the point is, you know, he's got some very strange connections. Very strange indeed. I think that we need to be very careful about this Roland Rasmussen.